Hey guys, it's Kate, and I hope you're having a great day. I am going to do a big flower on my watercolor paper here today, but what I want to do is use masking fluid to do my flower sketch. And so I think with that and putting on some really good watercolor washes, we can make a pretty cool painting today. So I've got some 6x9 cotton paper. It is this discount paper I got on Amazon. I'll link it below if you're interested. I have a ruling pen and some masking fluid. So I'm just going to open this up. And I haven't really used a ruling pen very much, but I find that it's really nice to just get a good layer. So it kind of holds the fluid there in the crease and then it comes out almost like a fountain pen. So I'm going to start making the outline of my flower. And I'm just going to go around and dip periodically when I need to and make myself a circle. And now where I got kind of a blob of that masking fluid, I'm just going to even it out here and get it to where it's a pretty mostly uniform line. Now I'm going to start moving out my flower petals. Now my flower petals, I'm going to take these all the way to the edge of the page, just like this. And I'm just going to keep on bringing my line down, and I'm going to meet up with my center circle. Just like that. Now I'm going to put in some random marks in here for the center, and I'm just going to kind of scribble around a little bit. It's going to make some texture there in my petals. And then I'm going to do one more thing, and that is add a little bit of texture here coming out of the edge. And these are very fine lines. I'm just kind of turning my paper as I go. A little bit of it had started to dry, so I kind of pulled it back. This is like liquid latex, so you just want to make sure that if you have a latex allergy, be careful, or find a latex-free version. I don't have an allergy, but all right, our flower is complete. Now I think what I'm going to do is add just a few little spirals like that, and maybe one coming across like this. And I might bring this right out from the petal. Same thing here. All right, our masking fluid sketch is complete. So I'm going to let this dry and come back for the next layer. Okay, I'm back and our masking fluid is dry. So you can still see the blue mark and it kind of dries to this latex feel. And so now we are ready to paint. And on the background, I want to use some Payne's gray and some dark blues. And I'm thinking of using a bit of the turkey blue. It's one of my favorite colors in the Mei Liang palette, and it's just really beautiful. And so I'm going to make a pretty wet mixture of both of those. And I'm just going to go a little bit carefully in this center. And I'm going to dip back and forth and just let this color come off my brush. And so we're going to have a pretty good contrast of color here. And I'm just going to come right off of my paper. Same thing over here. And I'm just going to work my way around my petals. And there's going to be a natural resist that forms, and it'll be really beautiful, I think, once it dries. And so I'm just going around the outside of my petals first, but I'm gonna just alternate between my colors and just make sure that I get good coverage on my paper. And I'm letting it all kind of blend together and have that sort of cloudy look. I think this is going to look really cool. Okay, now let's go into our yellow ochre, which I'll put kind of back here a little bit and get a good amount of it into my tray. And then I'm also going to go into my burnt sienna and just kind of put that there on the side. And I'm also going to go into my sienna, and this is kind of a more orangish color, and I'm going to be dropping that in too. So I'm going to get my brush again, pick up some of this yellow ochre, and start adding it here. And I'm just going to let it come all the way out. Then I'm going to take this sienna and sweep that a bit. So we have a little bit of color variation there. I'm going to go around my petals and do that. You can see that resist happening around where my lines are from the masking fluid. It's definitely very visible. Okay. I'm going to grab some more of that sienna and get it into my tray for my last 3 petals. And pick up some more of that beautiful yellow ochre. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to grab that sienna again and put that right in my center. And get some good coverage here. And then I'm going to drop in a little bit of yellow ochre. And I'm also going to drop in this darker burnt sienna. Just like this. Okay, I'm back and we are completely dry to the touch. And I'm dipping back into a brown color from my palette. And I'm just going to add some dry brush. So I'm going from the side using the belly of my brush here. And it's very dry that way from the side. So you kind of get this nice sort of texture that comes out because you're not letting go of your whole load of color in one go from your brush tip. And so it adds some nice texture to the paper and some more depth of color. And you just achieve that by moving quickly and using the belly of your brush. And the more you let it kind of sit, the more you can fill in that color. So I'm kind of using more of my tip toward the center, and then as I move out, I'm moving faster and using the belly. And you can see that really beautiful look that happens by doing the dry brush technique. And it just adds that extra layer of interest. And I might go over this just a little bit more and bring it out kind of closer to the other ones, like this. So I'm going around, I guess again, like that. And I think that looks pretty good. What I might do too, so as you can see, the way it dried, where I had paint right along the edge of my paper, it kind of pulled back a little bit during the drying process. And honestly, I don't really mind that. And if you were going to frame this, you could cover that up or also trim off the edges. But I want to deepen up some of my blue on this side to better match this side. So I'm going to dip into my turkey blue again off to the side, and I'm just going to add some to my paper. And I'm going to start with some down, and then I'm going to rinse my brush well and blot it and feather it out to soften that edge and just bring it right to the edge of the paper. This way I can deepen up that color, but I don't have this hard line on my paper. Just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, maybe from the center this time, almost like a shadow behind the petals. And again, I'm going to rinse my brush and just drag this a bit so that I can get that color out, but make that edge nice and soft. And I can also do that with my Payne's Gray. So I'm just mixing some up to the side a little bit, and maybe I want to add some more here and have it come to the edge of the page. I can do that too. So I'm just dabbing my brush in water and then making that a nice soft edge. Dragging into those brush strokes. All right. And add some Payne's Gray here. Blot and drag. Then I'm going to go into my turkey blue for this one. Just like that. And that'll add some more depth of color here. I overworked this, so this is going to be a little bit blotchy, but I can't really do anything else about it until it dries, but I don't actually hate it, so there we are. Last but not least, I'm going to go in to my Payne's Gray Pretty Strong, and I'm just going to add some deeper color to some spots around this sunflower. I guess it's going to be a sunflower. And these ones, I don't mind having a harder edge, but I just want to deepen up that center. Just like that. Okay, I'm back and we are completely dry to the touch everywhere. So I am going to use my remover tool. This is almost like an eraser, but it's for glue and other gunk. And I'm going to gently rub at the places where I put my masking fluid, and it will come up, leaving the white highlight of the paper below. And so you can see where I started this lift, and it's like this this kind that I have, it's like a super stretchy, I don't know if you can see it on my finger, but it's like this super stretchy latex, and most of it will kind of pull right off, but we can use the help from our tool. Like, I've got my hand like 2 feet away from the paper and it just really does a great job lifting all of this masking fluid. I'm just kind of winding it around my hand here, and it's all coming up. There's going to be some areas that don't come up, and I will continue using my tool to help with that. But you can see all that white popping through, and there's a big piece of that latex there. So it finally broke off. So I'm going to come in and get the rest, and I'm just gently rubbing at it, and it kind of sticks to this tool a bit, and you can get a good grip, and the rest of it will continue to pull off. I've got some here in my other little marks, and I'm just rubbing gently, and it comes right up, no problem at all. Okay, here I have some that is still on my paper, so I'm just going to rub and get this up, and over here too. And you can see how fast that removal is. It's really incredible, actually. All right, I'm just going to go across my flowers, my petals, and make sure that I'm getting up all the little marks that I put down for the little flower petal highlights. And by going across, I make sure to get all of those little lines that I put down. And then I'm going to do the same and go across the center of my flower and get all of the masking fluid up there as well. And I believe that just about is everything. I'm looking, but I don't see anywhere else where we have any masking fluid still on the paper. So I think we are good to go. And you see that wonderful white highlight that was left from that masking fluid, and it just is like night and day. So I think there's one final finishing touch, and that is some gold splashes, because I want to give this painting some extra sparkle. And I'm going to come in here and do some splashes right up in a diagonal motion. And that will give us some really nice sparkle when you look at it just a certain way. So let me bring this up and give you a close-up of our finished painting and all of that wonderful texture and color that we have, along with those gold splashes, which I love, from the Mei Liang palette. And let me give you a glimpse of the sparkle there in the light. Hopefully you can see that. And it just adds that nice finishing touch to the painting. So I hope you enjoyed this video today and followed along with me. Thank you so much for watching today, and until next time, keep creating.